You can try
Okay, no, I can't use that either.
or strap or
No.
okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so now it's your turn.
Well,
Yeah.
when you perform, are you nervous? I mean, I know it takes practice.
I was nervous doing that
Less.
because that's really hard. You know, when you have 3 other people on stage, it kind of makes it a lot easier. And also, you know, when each piece is only short and you have the rock stuff, you know, the audience is a little bit more on your side to begin with because it's the rock stuff. I don't know. They're like, and you can kind of squeak and do, you know, screw things up a little bit, and yeah, it's rock. So it's not as bad. So I don't tend to get too nervous. You know, this is a little bit more pressure because I kind of got to put my money where my mouth is here because you're all like staring at me. Any other?
Will you get apprehensive before you play any professional
engagement.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's very normal too. There have been I don't know if you've ever heard of Gunnar Starker, the great cellist. He used to throw up before he went on stage every time. But you'd never know it when he stepped out. It looked fine. You know, the trick to performing, and it's easier to say it than do it, is you have to pretend you're the best in the world when you walk out. You know, you can't kind of just like, especially when you're doing a competition or something, you can't just kind of go, you kind of just got to, you know, like Shadagorski was a great cellist, walk out there with a cello like this, you know, sit down, stick it into the ground, and start, and then you've already, like, you know, like, impressed them. So even if it's bullshit, and you don't feel that inside, which you don't, you got to pretend it. You got to project that. Because the audience really, to that extent, is on your side. The audience does not want you to make a mistake. It's painful for them. They get really upset if they see you're upset, you know, and their heart goes out for you. They want it to be like a Madonna experience, you know, where you have people like that who just exude confidence. You know, it's rare. That's why those people are rare. There's something actually wrong with them, I think. Because that's not normal. It's not normal to exude that type of confidence. No one has normally that type of confidence. It's not, because you know what's at stake. You know how easy it is to screw up. But you have to try and exude that. I don't really have that, to tell you the truth. You know, you kind of have to pretend to a certain extent.
Do you play anything else aside from cello?
I play a little piano, but I don't consider myself a pianist. And a little guitar, but you know, this is my instrument.
So, what do you love most about cello?
That's a loaded question. I think cello is really, excuse me for saying, but I think it's the prettiest. I think it has the nicest range. You know, I think it's very easy for a fiddle player to sound squeaky. You have to really work at not. Get good strings. Don't buy cheap metal strings. You know, try and, you know, if you want to be a professional, try and get a good instrument. You know, you have to develop a good sense of sound, which comes from your ear. It doesn't come from your hands. If you don't hear it, a quality sound, you will not produce it. So it has to be in your ear first, what you want to produce. And it has to be, you know, thick, rich sound, you know, and it's easier on the cello because you got a low register, you know, you have it down there, than it is on the violin. And the viola is kind of in a netherworld. Yeah, you really have it tough because actually, from physics standpoint, the viola does not have the same natural resonances that the violin and cello do. The bass either. I mean, there have been studies done that there are natural harmonic series when the instrument just vibrates, and the violin and cello have the most perfect natural resonances, produce nice overtones, just knocking it. They produce the nicest overtones. The viola and the bass are kind of in a deader area, so it's harder for them.
Is this like is this like your favorite thing to do music-wise? Is like perform or
I like arranging too. There's not enough performance work that you do. It's tough, especially with the economy tanking. You know, this is the first thing that goes. You know, is entertainers
And live musicians.
and live musicians. You know, when Obama, you know, when all this whole stuff started going down with the banks failing and all that, you know, when they're yelling at all the corporations to stop spending big, well, what do you think they stopped spending on the first thing? Big corporate parties, and which killed all the entertainers and the florists and the caterers and everything. So,
The White House story.
the White House story. We were invited to play at the White House 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago?
Yeah. 2 Christmases ago.
So we got all excited. So that was, you know, a great opportunity. And, you know, normally you get called for a date and it's pretty quick in terms of them calling you and you discuss negotiating price and you put the date on hold and etc. These guys called way in advance. Social secretary from the White House called way in advance. Said, "Are you available?" yeah, fine, sure. Why not? And I thought it was curious that they never asked the price. We never got to that. And as we got closer and closer to December, when it was for Christmas parties in the White House, apparently they have a lot of Christmas parties. So finally they called and we started discussing. I told them our price and, you know, the cost of transportation, and you know, it gets expensive when you have 4 people and the cello, and you know, because this, you know, if you fly, we weren't going to fly, we were going to drive.
No.
When you do fly, this has got to go in a seat. You can't put a good cello in the baggage hold. You know, the guy's throwing it around. It's not going to. That doesn't work well. So when we finally got around to price, we told them, we said, "Oh, well, we don't pay anything." I said, "Oh, okay. What about, you know, the transportation costs and hotel and food and everything?" "No, we don't pay for anything." I go, "Well, oh, then there must be like shots with Obama or some publicity that we can use that's, you know." "No." I'm going like, so what is my motivation to do this? You know, we're going to take, it was just for like 2 days too. It was like a couple of days.
They wanted 2 performances on 2 separate days. We were going to have to drive down the day before, stay overnight 3 nights, feed everybody, all at our expense and all on our dime. And I was amazed and flabbergasted when I was talking with this woman, and I said, well, you know, and this was right at the time of the financial crisis. And I said, well, this is not their hobby. This is how they put food on the table. This is how they make their living. How do you expect us to spend $3,000 to $5,000 on getting 4 people down to the White House and staying overnight and getting bedded and then being fed and everything? How do you expect us to do that? I said, don't you have an entertainment budget? And she said, well, we have 126 performers that are coming. If we had to pay them all, we wouldn't have any money. And I said, well, that's fine, but these people are professionals. This is what they do for a living. And she said, well, if we had to get money to pay them, we'd have to go to Congress to get the money. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, we're not going to do that.
The thing that's upsetting is that, you know, musicians are one of the most taken advantage of classes of people. You know they're paying the caterers. Caterers would never work for free. The chauffeur driver would not work for free. The electricians aren't going to do anything for free. None of those people work for free. But people have a tendency to think that musicians will work for free if it looks like it'll look good on their resume. And when you're a student or you just come out of school and you're young, you do things like that. You know, you would do something like that. And I'm sure they got quartets and stuff to come down for free because they felt, hey, it's a great opportunity. I can put it on my resume. I can tell people I played at the White House and stuff. But after, you know, after many years of doing that, you begin to realize you're just getting taken advantage of by people who know that's exactly how you're going to feel. So I'm not saying you shouldn't do it if you got that opportunity, you know, when you're young. Everyone goes through that and has to do things like that.